Bottle pop, truth drop, welcome to the show. Champagne secrets, let your power grow. Every video, spark, ignite your inner light. Raise a glass to the future, shining bright. Empowerment is the code we decode. Unravel mysteries, life's own secret load. Step by step, tap in, find your flow. With champagne secrets, you're gonna glow.
Unlock the strength within you, watch it bloom. Life's a canvas, painted every room. Through ups and downs, cheers to what's next. Champagne secrets, life's complex. To the show, champagne secrets, let your power grow. Every video, spark, ignite your inner light. Raise a glass to the future, shining bright. Empowerment is the code we decode. Unravel mysteries, life's own secret load. Step by step, tap in, find your flow. With champagne secrets, you're gonna glow. Unlock the strength within you, watch it bloom. Life's a canvas, painted every room. Through ups and downs, cheers to what's next. Champagne secrets, life's complex.
For a second and let's talk. Yo, DJ, roll that beautiful champagne footage.
All my life, heard this secret. It was, if I've been seeking this special secret. This is something that I've been trying to put my friends on, and I finally found it, you know. This is a champagne secrets moment. Wanna share it with y'all, so tap in. Scoot up for a second. Let's toast. All my life, heard this secret. It was, if I've been seeking this special secret. This is something that I've been trying to put my friends on, and I finally found it, you know. This is a champagne secrets moment. Wanna share it with y'all, so tap in. Scoot up for a second. Let's toast.
Yo! Y'all just don't want to believe the truth. You don't want to believe it.
Naughty little bastard.
You can't handle the truth.
That's the way I feel about some of y'all. You can't handle the truth. Listen, y'all. So we gonna get into the show. Champagne Yang, Fizz Fam, Confidants. Welcome, 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 welcome. Scoot up for a second because we need to talk really quick, right? So last night when we had our show live, right? We had a troll that popped into our chat. And there was something that he said that kind of got under my skin. And what he said was, well, he called me an atheist. And I thought about that thought because time and time again, you hear people talk about God this, God that. We do this for God. We do that for God. It's God don't play with me. God got my back. Da 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 da. Here's my problem, sir. How exactly do you try to defend a God you don't know? Please help me understand. Because the God I know is a God of love. So if you're out spewing hate, then how can we be talking about the same God? See, this is the problem that I have. Just because you use a name, don't mean you know the individual. Just because you use the name God doesn't mean that you actually know God. This is the problem that I have. It's a whole lot of people running around talking about God this, God that, child of God this, child of God that. Really? 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 Because the Bible says, if you love me, then you keep my commandments, right? Ain't that what it say? There's no way for you to run around talking about you love God and you're a child of God and everything that you do is standing for God when you're walking around, running around, and everything coming out your mouth is hateful, vengeful, vindictive. What God are you really speaking of? Not my God. You can't be. Because my God said, beloved, let us love one another. For love is of God, and everyone that loveth is born of God and knoweth God. He that loveth not knoweth not God, because God is love. 1 John 4:7 and 8. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. So how can you defend a God you don't know? Why? Because you think if you say his name 3 times, he gonna appear. It's so sickening. All the way around. All you hear is hate, 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 hate. How can you say anything that you do is in the name of God when everything that you're doing goes against the very God that you say you stand for? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. If you want to talk about love, if you want to talk about love, then you got to go over to 1 Corinthians 13. That's where you got to go if you want to talk about love. If you want to talk about this God, because I'm the atheist. But you got people who run back and forth from channel to channel, from space to space, and all that's coming out of your mouth is hate and vile and negativity. People just can't wait to jump on somebody else's video, on somebody else's platform to spew hate. But you think God got your back. Love is patient. Love is calm. Ain't that what the Bible say? The Bible that you preach, the one that you say you stand behind. But you know how you can try to defend a God you don't know? Do you know how? Because you're trying to defend one that you've made God that you don't know. Yeah, let's talk about it. The problem is, for most of y'all, Trump is your God. There it is. See, a lot of people too scared to say it. The problem is, you don't put him on a pedestal like he's your savior. Didn't you see what happened in the same Bible that you profess? When the children of Israel built golden statues to worship? Keep playing with my God. And he's really going to show up and show you who he really is. It's sad and it's sick. It really is. It really is. Because you don't know anything about love. You don't. You don't. You don't know anything about charity because the same Bible says you can have everything that you want to have, but if you ain't got love, it's nothing. You are nothing without love. So how can we be for the same God if everything that comes out of your mouth is hateful? You don't see the good in nothing and nobody. Everything is just vile. It's insane. But I just had to pause and say that because that struck a little chord with me on the inside. Because how dare you fix your mouth to call somebody else a unbeliever in God when your very actions go against everything that God says he stands for. Please help me understand it. The same Bible says in the least you've done to the least of these, you've done it unto me. Same Bible. When you snatching babies out of homes and breaking up homes that your system created. And because you're mad that the previous system created it, you want to take it out on the people? You want to tell me that's godly? Love ain't puffed up. It doesn't delight in wrongdoing. It doesn't delight in seeing hurt and pain. But you want to call someone else an atheist. Please. Please get to know the God you try to defend. Then turn that damn mirror around and you look yourself in the face and see if you're not the monster you trying to accuse everybody else of being. Because they don't agree with your golden God that you've put on a pedestal. Trying to get the world to bow down to. I keep telling y'all, I see something y'all don't see. But now that that's out the way, let's get ready to get into the show.
Fizz fam, this one, whew, it's dark, disturbing, and real messy. So, a man calls the cops about a dead baby in his garage, but what they uncover? 7 tiny victims. A mother with a haunting secret and a garage full of horror. This ain't fiction. This is Fizz and Felonies. Buckle up, pour it up, and let's get into the madness.
Pleasant Grove Police.
I just found something in my garage. It's been wrapped up in a plastic bag and it stinks.
Okay, what is it?
It's a little baby.
Pleasant Grove Police received this chilling 911 call. Upon arrival, they met Darren West, who was visibly shaken after speaking with his wife, Megan Huntsman, about the grim discoveries in his garage.
And I just said, what the hell is this? What have you done? I always found something. She goes, oh, you did? Get that for. Don't call the police. Don't call the police. I'm going to get it.
As they stepped into the garage, they had no idea the horrors that awaited them inside.
I remember there being some sort of form of tape. As we got deeper into that box, we'd find a second child.
There could be more. Like I said, I can't remember a damn thing.
How many do you think there would be?
Holy what is going on?
On April 12, 2014, Darren had just returned home after serving time in prison for drug charges, only to stumble upon a horrifying scene in his garage and made this disturbing 911 call.
Pleasant Grove Police.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Can I have an officer come to this address?
And your name?
My name's Darren West. I just found something in my garage. I think it's a miscarriage.
Can you be more specific? What do you mean by a miscarriage you found?
I have no idea. Just please send an officer up here.
It sounds like you may need medical.
It's been wrapped up in a plastic bag and it stinks.
Okay, what is it?
It's a little baby.
When police arrived at Pleasant Grove, Utah, they saw the garage door wide open, and Darren stood outside with his family, who had come to help him move in. Just one look.
What do you even do? You getting ready to move into your place, and you cleaning out your place, and in a box, you see a baby. What is your first response? Do you just turn around and abort mission and walk away? What do we do at this point? Because that's got to be one of the most traumatizing experiences. I'm trying to understand, y'all in this situation, what do you do? What do you do? Do you ask questions of the significant other first? Do you call 911 first? Do you just say abort mission and walk away from it and pretend you didn't see what you just saw? What do? You clean out your garage and you happen upon this situation. Let me know in the comments.
At him, and the officers knew they were in for something dreadful.
Who lives here?
Us three.
1, 2, 3.
It's a double house. The basement and the upstairs are two different.
My 2 daughters live here. See, we've been cleaning the garage.
Okay.
And then got a 48-hour pass, and I have.
Here. We went on home and find down. He's in a halfway house. You've been cleaning out the garage.
I'm trying to get, because I've been gone for so long. And
anyway, there was a box over there. It was all wrapped up. And he says, what is this?
The box in question was an ordinary-looking fruit box, sitting just outside the garage, and its exterior was tightly sealed with electrical tape. Inside, they found a bag, also wrapped in layer upon layer of duct tape, as if someone desperately wanted to keep whatever was inside, hidden forever. When the investigators finally peeled it open, what they discovered would haunt them for years to come. It was the lifeless body of a fully decomposed baby.
There were boxes from floor to ceiling on all 3 walls. There's hundreds of boxes. How are we going to get through all of these? So we contacted the medical examiner's office, and they sent out an investigator. Bewilderment, shock. I was speechless. How could you fathom something like that? The big obvious question is what is this child doing here? Who's the mother? Where did it come from?
The officers quickly sealed off the scene, unsure of what had truly happened. But one thing was clear. It was now a homicide investigation. They began searching the area, moving from box to box, not knowing that what they had just uncovered was just the beginning of a much darker and more chilling story. But the question was, where was Megan? Right now, she was the only person who could hold the answers to this troubling mystery.
Let's start off with, is it your wife or your girlfriend?
I'm still married to her, but.
Okay, so legally, according to the law, it's still your wife.
Yes, sir.
Okay, why don't you tell me what her name is?
Megan Huntsman. What happened is when I went to prison, she stuck around for 2 or 3 years and she took off.
But she is with a boyfriend now.
Where is she?
In West Valley somewhere. We just had her on the phone. She said it was his.
And I just said, what the hell is this? What have you done? I always found something. She goes, oh, you did?
Get that for
Not oh you did. So she was expecting this to be found eventually at some point. So the only response you have is oh you did. Not well. It was the same person that put the baby in the box in the first place. So of course she wouldn't have no other response. This is crazy. I'm really trying. That's why this is really straight out of the I know you fucking lying files. This is gotta be straight out of you can't make this shit up Boulevard. It has to be just because sometimes you don't even have words for what these people are really capable of. This is crazy.
So possibly something did it.
So she said it was yours. Logically, is that true?
I don't know, man. I never knew she was pregnant.
So, for the time being, the officers focused on Megan to understand about the unfolding events.
Are you able to help us understand what's going on here? It was a miscarriage.
It was like 9 years ago when we first left.
And how far into your pregnancy were you? How soon can you come down here? Our detectives need to ask you some follow-up questions so that we can, rule out any kind of foul play. Okay, listen to me. I need you to stay at your residence. We're going to have a West Valley City officer come pick you up.
It was
So now that's crazy because 7 months, and for any of you who know, I'm stopping it so that I don't mess up YouTube algorithm, don't want any copyright infringements or strikes. But 7 months, if you've ever had a baby, that's damn near full term. That's a full baby. So we got umbilical cord, we got amniotic sac, we got all of that. So I'm trying to understand when she had these children, did she deliver that as well? What happened to that part? Is that in the box with the baby? Like, I have so many questions. You didn't seek any medical care? You haven't had any medical care since you delivered this baby? This is crazy.
wasn't just Darren who was disturbed. The neighbors had also noticed a strange, foul smell coming from the garage. As more officers arrived at the scene, they were tasked with meticulously searching every inch of the property of what was quickly becoming known as the House of Horror. Meanwhile, Megan was brought in for questioning by Detective Beckstrom. His first goal was to understand why she had hidden the baby, instead of reporting it to the authorities or seeking medical help. However, in a few moments, the story took a turn more twisted than ever.
Well, you know why we're here, what we're here to talk about. Just start at the beginning and tell me what happened.
Well, we were doing drugs a lot. That's what he was in prison for. I got pregnant right before he left, and I really didn't know because I thought it was just stress and stuff.
And he went to prison in 2006?
Yeah.
How far along were you when he
For
went?
a couple months.
Where did you have the baby?
In the house, in the bathroom.
In the house that you and Darren lived in? Describe to me what happened.
Well, I was having a lot of pain that day. I didn't go to work. My kids were at school, and I went in the bathroom and just sat there and then just pushed really hard. And I was blue and wasn't crying. And I was by myself, and I didn't know what to do. And I couldn't get it to cry or anything.
Then what happened?
I got scared and I wrapped it up. Not being smart and calling you guys, I was in shock. It was stupid of me to do it.
What do you mean when you say you wrapped it up?
You remember? It was towels or garlic butter or something. I put it in a box.
What would you have done differently? Looking back.
Called the cops and told them that I had a baby and that I couldn't get to breathe and have the paramedics and stuff come.
Megan repeated the same story she had told Darren, that the baby had been a stillborn. Despite appearing visibly upset, there were many details in Megan's account that just didn't add up.
Yeah, the simple damn fact that you had a baby, and when you had the baby, instead of you seeking help because your baby wasn't breathing, you decided to wrap your baby up in fucking plastic, put it in a box and hide it in the damn garage. I don't know, maybe that was the part of the story that didn't make sense. Because majority sane mothers, that's why I told y'all, we talk a lot about mental health, but some of this stuff is just demonic. And if you think this is crazy, it gets worse. It gets worse. But there's several problems with her story. The fact that you had a baby and didn't tell anybody, didn't seek help for yourself, for the baby, nothing. What mother has a child, the child not breathing, and you just, oh, I'm going to just wrap it up because I don't want to get in trouble because the baby I just gave birth to isn't breathing. 2 + 2 not equaling 4, Lucy. You got some explaining to do.
Okay, so you're on the toilet, you have the baby. You said you tried to get it to breathe. What did you do?
Well, I tried just to clean his mouth out and stuff, and I couldn't get a response at all.
Okay.
I couldn't feel a heartbeat or anything.
Okay. So you clean the baby's mouth out, try to get it to breathe, And then what?
I passed out for a little bit. I think I lost a lot of blood. And then when I just remember my kids got home from school and I just told them I wasn't feeling them. And then I cleaned myself up and I went and got a box.
And then, as far as you know, unless someone else moved it, the baby's been in the box in the garage since that first year that Darren went to prison. Okay.
We clean that garage every year, so.
Were you worried somebody else would find it when you guys were cleaning the garage?
Yeah.
And so what would you do to make sure that didn't happen?
I just kind of slide it and like sweep around, you know, and then set stuff on it and, you know, but they knew that part was already clean and stuff.
Megan's story seemed like a justification. With her husband gone to prison, she was left overwhelmed with stress and was deeply influenced by drugs which clouded her state of mind. But the more the detective spoke with her, the more their doubts grew.
Because I was so scared, you know, I don't know what I was thinking. I have no idea.
Do you remember if the baby was a boy or a girl? So, did anyone know that you were pregnant?
I don't show at all.
Did you tell Darren?
No.
Okay. Had you ever had any stillborn babies prior to that?
Miscarriages.
And on these miscarriages, did they all happen at home?
One happened at home.
All right. Is there anything else that you think I should have asked you that I haven't asked you?
I think so.
Is there anything else that you want me to know?
No.
And we really want the right thing for this baby, a proper burial and closure for you and for your family. You know, your husband went to prison, you're raising the kids on your own, and you're overwhelmed, and I can understand that. I mean, Darren just found out that he had another kid that he didn't know about, so.
I totally understand that.
What do you think proper closure looks like? Anything else?
Me going to jail.
Well, it's clear that we think you should go to jail for this, that you recognize you've done something wrong. We haven't made any decisions like that. We're still just trying to put the story together at this point.
What struck as odd was Megan's fear of going to jail if the baby was truly a stillborn. If no crime had been committed, aside from the unlawful disposal of the body, why did she carry such a heavy guilt? There was something deeper she wasn't saying, and the detective could feel it. Meanwhile, at the house, the officers pressed on with their search, which led them to another suspicious box. Inside, they uncovered a deeply disturbing scene. That was just the start.
I remember there being some sort of form of tape over it, and then as we opened it up, there's heavy padding and packaging, more plastic wrap. As we got deeper into that box, we did ultimately find a second child. I felt angry, and...
So now, we had baby number 2. Same mama. Baby number 2. Again, I asked, did she deliver the placenta? You got all these parents around the world that can't have children, that would love to have a baby. And somehow these freaked up miscreants continue to be able to get pregnant just to do harm to the very children they give birth to. And you wonder why we have a series called Monster Moms. Because as much as we spend time talking about these daddies and these men around here being trifling, and some of them are even more trifling than them, is some of these trifling ass mamas. So now we're at baby number 2 that she supposedly gave birth to and hid in a box inside the damn garage. She's sweeping around, cleaning around it, just no attachment at all, no remorse at all. He got to tell you that the baby probably needs a proper burial. But the only thing you concerned about is going to jail. Baby number 2. Let's keep going.
I remember thinking, what in the actual hell is going on?
Each box they opened carried an overpowering stench, with a strange liquid seeping through the bottom of the bags inside. The officers immediately reported it to Detective Beckstrom, who confronted Megan in hopes to get answers, but nothing could have prepared him for her response.
We have investigators in the house right now. They found a second baby. Will you please tell me about that?
Hey, there's more. Hey, I'm sorry. I have hit every one of them, and he had to have known I was pregnant through most of them.
There's others? How many?
I'm not even sure. I was on so many drugs and stuff during it all, I can't even remember.
When?
So you done had so many kids that you don't even remember how many you had and disposed of, and we don't think we in trouble. We don't think Houston, we got a problem. You don't think there's a real issue when an individual can state that they had multiple children, so many they don't even know how many they had. So who knows how many damn babies they were going to find as they continued to investigate this situation. And of course, her defense, quote unquote, I was on so many drugs. So you was so drugged up you didn't realize you had a baby and disposed of it, or how many you had? Y'all don't what kind of mind? Y'all still think a lot of this is mental health and not demonic? Wow.
All through the years.
Megan had a long history of drug abuse, particularly methamphetamine, and was known to drink heavily as well. These addictions had ruined her ability to make rational decisions, but they were no excuse for taking a life. Despite her claims it was clear she was still hiding something, a truth so gruesome which would shake everyone to the core.
And if it's easier for you to remember, if we want to start after you had your first child, when you had the first miscarriage.
One, right after we moved in, I can't even remember. I remember when I had in the tub. They were all stillborn. Every one of them.
Were they full term?
No, I don't think.
Okay, so how many do you think will we find in the garage?
4.
Did you put all 4 in the garage?
Yeah.
4. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Remember that song when you was young, learning Espanol? 4. She said 4. Some people need to be just sterile. Sterile. How? How exactly do you get rid of 4 babies and nobody knows? Here's my question. What happened do she not have family, friends, nobody to check on her? So nobody knew 4 times that she was pregnant. Not only did nobody know 4 times that she was pregnant, nobody knew 4 times that she had quote unquote miscarriages. Not only did they not know she had miscarriages, but no one also knew that she never went to the doctor to get treated or seen because of said miscarriages. Have we gotten so far away from the family community structure that nobody cares about each other enough anymore to check to see what's going on with them? Nobody. This girl didn't have one person in her life that had a clue. Y'all, let me tell you something. My daughter is 28 now. When I found out I was pregnant with my daughter, I didn't even know for sure that I was pregnant. I really didn't. I had an inkling, so I told my dad, who's actually my stepdad, but he wouldn't let you call him my stepdad. You know, he was daddy for real. That's for a different show. Cause some of y'all be tripping with the roles of stepdad. You really do. But I went and told him, I said, I think I need to go to the doctor. So he asked me, he said, go to the doctor for what? I said, well, what else would a young woman who's not sick and don't have any health conditions have to go to the doctor for? So he asked me, he said, you think you're pregnant? I said, yeah, but I don't know. That's why I'm going to get checked. So he says to me, well, we're not going to tell your mama until we find out for sure. Same day, I kid you not. My mama walked through the door, set her purse next to the floor by the chair, sat in the chair, leaned forward with her elbows on her knees, bowed her head, folded two hands, and said, are you pregnant? I looked at my stepdaddy. He threw his hands up in the air like, it wasn't me. I ain't say nothing. I looked back at her. I'm like, lady, first of all, how you even know? I first, and I told her, I said, I don't know, for real. I got a doctor's appointment. I'm gonna go find out. She was like, okay, I'm gonna go with you. How is it? Because when you really a mother, when you really have a connection with your kids, you know when something is wrong. When you really have a connection with certain family members, you know when something is wrong. You can feel it. So this woman didn't have nobody that cared about her to know something is off. That to know on 4 different occasions, this woman had 4 kids, 4 quote unquote miscarriages, but had no medical care. We talking about potentiality of the amniotic sac rupturing and pieces still potentially left inside. We talking about cutting the umbilical cord. We talking about the potentiality of the umbilical cord ripping from the sac. And this woman ain't had no care. Bro, you can't, this is straight from the you can't make this up files.
Did you keep them in the same place in the garage? What did you? Right
It's
there.
covered.
Okay. And so all 4 boxes are in the same place? Okay. Well, I just want to be able to relay to the detectives what they're going to find. And so all 4
Yes.
are in the cabinet in the garage?
Yes.
Why didn't you call for help?
I'm afraid people know I'm pregnant.
I mean, this is Utah. It's not common for people to have a lot of kids.
Oh, because I was young, because I was so young.
Several years later, though, when this happened, I mean, you're not so young.
I know. But like I said, the drugs, they mess with you. Bad.
So you're telling me that because you were on drugs, you weren't making good decisions?
Yeah, exactly.
Does it feel better to tell the truth?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, just a minute.
After hearing that more bodies were hidden in the garage, Detective Beckstrom quickly contacted the officers on the scene. Over 20 to 30 officers combed through every inch of the house, searching for hours. And while the investigation continued, so did the interrogation.
You know, we've talked about a lot. I don't know yet. We haven't made those decisions because we're doing the search warrant still. And because of the seriousness of this, they are also going to obtain a search warrant for your house in West Valley. Is there anything at that house that we need to know about before we go up there?
For me, no. All that's up there is my clothes.
Okay. So you have the babies been in the garage the whole time?
I never moved them or anything. But yeah, they've been in the garage the whole time.
So we're talking 8 years ago.
Yes.
I mean, you told me earlier that you put the boxes with the babies in them in the cabinet.
Yeah.
Did you ever take them out of that cabinet?
No.
I imagine in the last 9 years, stuff's been in and out of the cabinet.
I think so, because I was just there a month or so ago getting my bed and stuff out of there, and I seen it sitting there.
Right. And so did anyone in the world know that the baby was in the garage? Okay.
Nobody medical, so.
Well, they're saying one of the boxes was on a stack of shelves next to the cabinet. Why would it be there?
Unless I moved it or something, but it's not thinking.
Do you know when that might have been?
Before I left, I did. I mean, I haven't been in that house. I've only once since I've moved out.
It was painfully evident that this case was far from straightforward. While it wasn't unheard of for a woman to hide a pregnancy, but doing so multiple times raised serious doubts. The idea seemed almost impossible to believe, and as the detectives pieced things together, a chilling realization began to take shape.
I want to make sure that there's no more weight on your shoulders. Okay. When you have these babies,
Yes.
you said after they were born and they were blue and you would try to get them to breathe. What would you do to try to get them to breathe?
Sometimes I was so scared, you know.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Sorry, like shake them, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
Did you have like the suction cup they used to clean out their mouths?
No, use my finger and stuff.
You described you had the one in the tub, that you filled the tub and had it.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
Was that baby alive when it was born?
I think it was for a short time.
What
I mean,
happened?
well, you'd think if I have baby in the house, I just cry, so you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, you say you think it was for a short time. What
Yeah.
was it moving? Did it start to breathe?
No, it wasn't breathe. I could see a little heartbeat and then it stopped.
Okay. For about how long?
Not very long at all.
Okay. The one that you had when he was in prison, that you were on the toilet. Was that one alive when it was born? Okay. Where were the other two born?
So now, just to make this live for y'all. Now, you remember we started out and she was talking about they were stillborn. Stillborn means born without a heartbeat, right? Stillborn. Now we've transitioned from the babies were stillborn to at least two of them were born breathing. Our babies are in trouble. Yeah. These mamas, I don't understand. I'm really trying to understand how the selection process went in glory of what child came down with what parent. I'm really trying to make sense of how this happened. That so many of these babies is being subjected to monsters. This these infants had to go through 9 months utero with being inside fluid and growing. We don't know what the fetus goes through on the inside as legs and fingers and arms and size, and all of this is happening as they prepare for labor. We don't know what these infants go through, what they experience when they have to be pushed out this small circle in order to come into the world. We talk about what the mama goes through, but we never consider what these infants go through. Just to come into this world and have your mom take you out just in a matter of a because she was on drugs, allegedly, and didn't know what to do. And if y'all see a reflection in my glasses, it's because I'm ordering something to eat. I'm a little hungry. But this heifer, I don't understand. Y'all better start doing like I told y'all. If you see something, you better say something. You better start caring enough about these kids to want to save every one of them because it could be one of yours. I know if you talk to her doggone family, her family would tell you, we would have never guessed. Or they gonna tell you, well, yeah, we knew she was a little off. But nobody thought to check on the little off person, to make sure they don't potentially harm somebody else. Please.
Why don't that?
Okay. The one on the bed, when it was born, do you think it might have been alive for a short time as well?
It might have.
Detective Beckstrom was left stunned when Megan finally admitted the unthinkable. It wasn't an accident, but actual murders. So now he asked her the final make-or-break question.
Did you kill the baby after it was born? What we need is the truth.
I did one of them.
Which one?
Every night there. No, I was just so scared. I was so on drugs so bad. I choked it.
How did you choke it?
Urine.
Do you think all 4 of these babies were alive when they were born?
I'm pretty sure one of them wasn't.
Telltale sign number 1, she can't even look this man in the face. That I have a problem with anybody that when you're talking to them, they can't look you in the face. And y'all, I am so sorry that my hair and everything is doing this weird psychedelic-y thing going in and out. Here's the problem, right? To be honest, I don't know if y'all can see, but my locks are actually green and blue. And the fact that I have a green screen, you see, it's green at the top and it's fading. I gotta re-dye it. But at the bottom, it's like a midnight blue. So because I have a green screen behind me, what happens is it reflects off the green in my hair, and now my hair look like I'm stuck in some kind of psychedelic Scooby-Doo episode or something. So don't trip. It's okay. I'ma figure it out. Maybe I'ma dye my hair another color so this will work out. But telltale sign is when a person can't look at you in the face. She looking everywhere but this officer. When a person really starts telling you the truth, they gonna start looking you in the face. If they can't look you in the eye when they're saying what they're saying, then maybe you should question everything that they say after they turn their head. Because up until this point, everything she said, she hasn't even looked him in the face when she's been speaking. That's how I believe the detective knew that there was more and more that was going to come because she ain't looked him in the face yet. And now, as you see, we started out, right, with 4 babies who were stillborn. Then we went from 4 babies who were stillborn to 2 babies who actually were born, but they were breathing for a matter of seconds and then stopped breathing. To now, she's actually admitting to unaliving, I think, one of the babies. So let's continue because it gets worse. This ain't it.
And did you choke the others?
Yes, I did.
And you put them in a towel, put them in garbage bags, and then put them in a box and put it in the garage. So one was dead when it was born, and the other 3 you choked. And why did you choke them?
I don't know. Scared. I was in shock.
Have you ever told anyone this?
No, I've never told a soul.
So when we run DNA tests, will they all be Darren's?
Yes, they will.
Is there anything else we need to know about?
No.
All right.
As the detective left the room, he could barely contain the emotions that overwhelmed him. It had been the hardest interrogation of his career.
Once I'm out of her sight, my hands went to my knees, and I had to take several breaths to really process. Holy, she had killed
You
these
can
babies.
imagine as a detective. Now, I want y'all to put on, because sometimes you got to put on, like, step into the other shoe, right? As a detective, you're investigating a case where you think, "Oh, okay, let's show up on the scene because the man that called, he found infant in the box. Okay, plausible. Let's play devil's advocate. I pull up to the house and there's, a woman might have had a miscarriage or whatever, didn't know what she was supposed to do because of a miscarriage. So she put the baby in a box. Da 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 da. Let's just, for all intents and purposes, play the devil's damn advocate. So you the detective, and you're expecting to investigate and look on the scene and say, "Oh, okay, she had a miscarriage, baby wasn't breathing, well to do. We can move on. Dumb decision. She should have called us. Give her a ticket. Let's go on about our day." Right? But when you call her in to have a conversation, then you find out about a second baby. Then as you continuing on, she tell you it's foretold. What as a detective are you supposed to think? How do you react if you're investigating that case with this mother sitting in front of you? Police are detectives, good ones, got to be some of the most patient individuals on the face of God's green earth. Because how can you sit in front of somebody whose story is escalating to this level and have the level of calmness that he had to get to the end of the road, to get to the truth? That's why everybody can't be a detective. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Back at the crime scene, the officers had been searching the garage for over 3 hours, and the unease they felt couldn't be measured. No one could have predicted what other surprises lay in store for them.
This was probably one of the longest days in my career. It was emotionally straining, physically exhausting, and the feeling in the air was dread, but also determination to find out what in the hell actually had happened. Eventually, we found baby number 3.
It didn't take long before the officers found the third body, packed tightly in a box and sealed with layers of duct tape. When they carefully opened it, they found the body to be wrapped in a plastic bag and covered in vinyl. As their search continued, they uncovered a fourth body, followed by a fifth, hidden under 2 blankets and 2 bath tiles in the bottom left corner of a cubby. But just when they thought they had seen it all,
So you heard that right. We've gone from the 4 that she admitted to now there is a 5th baby. So this mama already to this point has unalived 5, because we had 5 babies that she has given birth to, carried within her womb, felt kick, flip. I don't understand what happens in the minds of some of you twisted broads that you can carry something for 9 months, 40 weeks. My oldest daughter was 3 days overdue. I went through 7 hours of labor with her and I wouldn't dilate. Let's talk about it. I had to get an epidural. I had to go through another 5 hours of labor. No, I had to get what is it called? The Pitocin to induce my labor. That's what it was. Had to go through another 5 hours of labor. Then after that, because my contractions was coming back to back to back like this, and the medication they gave me to help me calm down between the contractions wasn't working because they was coming so close together. Had to get an epidural because I can't do it no more. I can't. Ooh, I was hot. Get the epidural, my baby came out, and I looked her in the face and knew she was mine. But I don't understand how you can carry a child within you, give birth to that child, and treat that child like shit. Just throw them away. What goes on in the mind of some of you twisted? I know what goes on. And we ain't gonna say it's mental health, because that's what we used to saying. As I say, and I'm gonna continue to repeat, it's damn demonic. You gotta have a hell of a demon on the operation on the inside of you to give birth to. It's like she was her own weird demonic satanic cult. having children and sacrificing them back to Satan. That's what this gives me. This girl brain need to be studied because it sounds like she was the leader of her own cult. Getting pregnant, having babies, and sacrificing them. Y'all, this crazy. And we probably, even after this is over with, we probably don't even know the half of the truth of what was really going on when this woman gave birth to these children and what them babies went through. We probably don't even know. And as many as they found, I'm willing to believe there's probably many more they just didn't find.
The biggest shock was still about to come.
I'm told that there is a fifth baby found at the home. Now it's becoming almost exhausting. How many could there be? And what is going on?
Right, Megan, I'm really happy with how far you've come, but I'm concerned that you haven't told me everything. How many do you think there possibly could be?
Honestly, I don't know how many. 4 I can think of, but I don't.
Okay, they are up to 5. And so now that there's 5, are you still only certain that one of them was dead when it was born? And so the other 4 were alive?
There could be more. Like I said, I can't remember a damn thing.
How many do you think there would be?
I'd say 8 or 9.
When they're done searching the garage, they are going to search the rest of the house. Will they find any more?
No.
Okay. So there could be 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Get me back up here. Yeah, I told you I had to pause because I'm trying to order me something to eat. What do you mean 8 or 9? See what I told y'all? Because y'all saw what the heading said. The heading said 7. The thumbnail. 7 babies total. But she's saying in here potentially 8 or 9. So there's a potentiality of other babies that they don't know nothing about. Because there's no way you can do this. You know, generally people that do certain things continue to do it because they feel like they can get away with it. You know, that's why I keep telling y'all to check y'all circles and check the people who are around y'all and learn how to remove y'all triggers because people continue to do stuff to you because they feel like they know they can get away with it. They know how to push your buttons. They do. They do. That's why I keep telling y'all to pay attention. Pay attention. There's no way she got away with this 7 times and stopped at 7. Hell, matter of fact, you probably should take her to get a medical examination done. That's what you should take her to do. To see when the last time she gave birth was. Because this is crazy. Her womb literally screaming she birthing babies for demons. That's all I'm saying. This seems really demonic to me. Really demonic. It's people out there who would love to have a child. Period. And would take care of that baby. And give these kids love. If y'all don't want the kids that y'all gave birth to, turn them over to the system. Lord. All I can think about is these innocent little babies coming into this mean, harsh world. Already got a strike against them because they coming into this world, period. But you got to come into this world and this is your mom. You went through all that work to get here because like I said, we talk about all the work the mama puts in. But do we even consider the work that baby puts in to get here? Do you not realize when you in labor, that baby ain't gonna come out till that baby get ready to come out? Do you not realize why you think they gotta start using suction cups and all of that? Because the baby wasn't ready. And this what they gotta be born to. this. 8 or 9, possibly 10. And her words was, I don't know, possibly 8 or 9, which means possibly 10 or 11. I hope y'all saying in the comments what y'all think about this because this is insane. This is insane.
Agree. But I know there's no more than that. And I know there's none in the house.
Pleasant Grove Police.
I just found something in my garage. It's been wrapped up in a
Oh
plastic bag.
Lord, hold on, y'all. Hold
Okay, what
on.
is
I
it?
gotta get back to the
It's a
purge.
little baby.
Did you have like the suction cup they used to clean out their mouths?
Use my finger and stuff.
You described you had the one in the tub, that you filled the tub and had.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
Was that baby alive when it was born?
Y'all, we was past this part, right?
Puzzle that didn't quite fit, and to fill in the gaps, investigators brought Darren in.
Okay, it was before that part.
Yes.
The numbers kept growing, but the officers
Okay, let's start right
they
here.
found the body to be wrapped in a plastic bag and covered in vinyl. As their search continued, they uncovered a fourth body, followed by a fifth, hidden under 2 blankets and 2 bath tiles in the bottom left corner of a cubby. But just when they thought they had seen it all, the biggest shock was still about to come.
I'm told that there is a 5th baby found at the home. Now it's becoming almost exhausting. How many could there be? And what is going on?
Right, Megan. I'm really happy with how far you've come, but I'm concerned that you haven't told me everything. How many do you think there possibly could be?
Honestly, I don't know how many. 4 I can think of, but I don't.
Okay. They are up to 5. And so now that there's 5, are you still only certain that one of them was dead when it was born? And so the other 4 were alive?
There could be more. Like I said, I can't remember a damn thing.
How many do you think there would be?
I'd say 8 or 9.
When they're done searching the garage, they are going to search the rest of the house. Will they find any more?
No.
Okay. So there could be 8 or 9.
Yeah, there could be. But I know there's no more than that. And I know there's none in the house. I mean, you'd smell them if they were in the house.
Right. Did the smell from the garage ever come in the house?
No.
It would just be out in the garage.
People said it was some smell, you know, like in the heat of the summer. We had cats and stuff, and you know, and I think it was always just blamed on that.
They would just leave it open?
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying Darren never knew?
No, and I told you, only me. I've kept this to myself for 18 years.
So I'm the only person that you've ever told?
Yes.
The numbers kept growing, but the officers knew they had to proceed with caution. The line of questioning soon shifted, as Detective Beckstrom began to consider Darren's possible involvement, due to something Megan had said earlier during the interrogation that had caught his attention.
When I talked to you earlier, you mentioned that Darren should have known. What do you mean by that? Did you tell her?
No.
Well, yeah, now that makes sense because if you done got pregnant 7 different times, potentially 8 or 9, somebody popped you up. Somebody got you pregnant. So you trying to tell me that the dude who knocked you up didn't even know you was pregnant? What in the hell of it? What in first of all, sometimes I watch these stories and I feel like I've stepped into the damn twilight zone because, baby, how? How? So you've been pregnant 7 times, which means you got a baby daddy. You gonna claim that they all his, okay? Let's just say for argument, because I don't know. I wasn't in that bedroom. But let's say for argument, they're all by the same man. So you telling me he didn't know? What kind of connection do y'all don't have love for real? Let me tell y'all. My mama and my stepdaddy was so in love. Let me tell y'all about these. When my mama would come on her cycle, My stepdaddy would crave black liquor. I used to say that's the kind of love I want. I don't want you to crave black licorice, but I want you to know when something shift with me. You, if it ain't that kind of love, I don't want it. I need you to know when something going on that shouldn't be going on, when something ain't right. I I want that old school Bo and Hope kind of love. And if anybody used to watch soap operas, Days of Our Lives, then you know about that Bo and Hope kind of love. That's the kind of love I want. Come see about me if something wrong. I need you to feel that something is off in my personality. That's what I need. If I can't have that, I don't want it. I want it. So the dude who popped her up 7 times didn't know she was pregnant. Every time you think this story can't take a turn, it takes 12. Back to back, just nonstop, like my contractions was. Nonstop, back to back. Ooh, let's go.
I don't know why. I think my mind was just so out of it, I didn't even, all I focused on was the next fix. But how can you not know? How can you sleep with someone every night and not know that?
When we're talking about Darren knowing that you were pregnant because he's in your bed, those aren't miscarriages. And so did you just tell him that you miscarried?
Yeah.
Okay. And so when you told him that it was a miscarriage, he never asked what you did with the miscarriage. Okay.
It was hard to believe that Darren had simply stumbled upon the body in his garage without any clue where it could have come from. Could he have known more than he was letting on? Meanwhile, back at the crime scene, officers made another grim discovery: the 6th and 7th bodies wrapped in sweaters and stuffed into a box inside a cabinet. It was a moment that left everyone reeling, but they still pressed on to determine if there were more than 7. They even searched Megan's former home in West Valley, leaving no stone unturned. While they found no additional bodies, they did uncover Xanax, marijuana, and drug paraphernalia, painting a bleak picture of her life. Megan Huntsman was arrested and booked into the Utah County Jail on 6 counts of murder. However, the case was far from complete. Still, there were pieces of the puzzle that didn't quite fit, and to fill in the gaps, investigators brought Darren in for questioning.
I'm just having a damn extra much.
So y'all, even though they found 7 babies, the reason she was only convicted or went to court over 6 is because she only admitted to unaliving 6. She said the 7th baby was actually a stillborn, but since she admitted to the 6th, then that's what they charged her with. Instead of, I'd have charged her with all of them. Matter of fact, I would have charged her with the 8 and 9 that she claimed that she think she gave birth to and unalive. No, I'm charging you with all of them. You know the way they be throwing enhancers on top of y'all when y'all get pulled over and caught with weed? Yeah. Throw every enhancer on top of her you can. Child abuse, abuse of a corpse, what in child endangerment. What else can you throw on top of that? Because 7, she's the serial killer. She is an infant serial killer. Lord. You can't make this stuff up. I don't know what happened to us post pandemic. I really don't know where we went wrong after we got hit with the Coco 19. I don't know, but somehow we lost brain cells. It was like we had to be stuck at home with ourselves, and somehow we came face to face with ourselves, and who we saw in the mirror wasn't who we thought we were, and we didn't like what was reflected back at us in the mirror or something, and we flipped. I don't understand what went wrong, because how can you get pregnant and give birth where the baby's all full term? We know at least one of them was 7 months. But how can you carry a baby on the inside of you Feel this baby move. Feel this baby kick. Have morning sickness. See this baby roll over. My baby was so big. My oldest daughter, when I gave birth to her, listen, she was 8 pounds, 08 ounces. She was the biggest thing in the doggone nursery. Huge. I was so huge when I was pregnant with her, baby. When she would flip in my stomach, you could literally see it. You could literally see the shape of her foot on my stomach, moving along my stomach. That's how big she was. How can you carry a baby less known 7, potentially 8 or 9, according to her, in your womb, give birth to this child, and then just toss it away in the garbage 7 times and feel nothing? Don't tell nobody. That is, I am flued out with this story. Completely flued out.
I'm
Child.
trying to talk to everybody, make sure I know that it's been a horrible day for a lot of you. So you're not in trouble right now. I'm just trying to understand everything that's happened. And so she's saying that baby was a miscarriage after he went in prison.
That's what she told me. Is that what she's still saying?
Yes. We did get a search warrant in the house, and there's more than one. And so, how many times was your wife pregnant?
Well, I have 3 daughters, and I know of one other time that she had a miscarriage. I never even knew she was pregnant with 2 of my daughters until she was like 4 or 5 months along. And then she told me, you know. Mm-hmm. I don't know, sir.
How many was there? There was 7.
You were kidding me.
I'm not. She said that the first...
I believe he didn't know. He's giving him eye contact. He's looking at him. He's not hesitating. And that looks like real emotion to me. I believe this sick, twisted itch. Female dog. Let's put it like that. This sick, twisted individual did this and he knew nothing about it. I believe that. I believe she hid this from everybody, including himself. Like I told you, I believe she was probably part of her own secret cult where she was having babies to sacrifice them back to Satan. Had to be, because what? And I don't believe he knew. But drop in the comments and let me know what you think.
Was shortly after you moved into the house.
Oh my God.
And then the last one that she was pregnant by you before you went to prison.
Wait, so she says they're all mine?
That's what she says. And that's why I'm glad you're here, because I would have thought that if she was pregnant 7 times in the 10-year period that you lived in that house, that surely you would have known.
Holy.
Darren was visibly shaken by the disturbing revelations. He buried his face in his hands and began to sob as the weight of the situation hit him hard. But despite his tears, there was more he needed to explain.
You said you knew that she was pregnant once. Are you talking about one other time than the miscarriage, or are you talking about something else?
That's the only time I know. I was so messed up on freaking drugs, and I don't know what was going on.
I can tell that you know about more than what you're telling me. Megan hid pregnancies from everybody until shortly before she had kids. But you're saying that she told you when she was 4 months along. I believe that you knew about these pregnancies.
I swear to God, I never knew about all these pregnancies.
But what's happened here is tragic. But I don't think that you killed these babies and hid them. I think that you were married to a woman who was going to do it her way, and then you were done fighting with her, and so you allowed her to make these decisions. Is that what happened?
And I never would think that she would put babies in a box and freaking...
So what did you think she was doing with these pregnancies?
I didn't realize she was pregnant 7 freaking times.
I'm a married man. You know your wife's pregnant. And so she's telling...
Now I gotta defend bruh now. Now brother done already told y'all he was doped up on that ooh wee. Now back up off of him a little bit because half of y'all don't pay attention to y'all husbands and wives and they live in the house with you right now and you claim to love them. You couldn't tell nobody what their favorite color was, what kind of underwear they looked the best in. You couldn't tell them if they asked you to go to the store and buy an outfit for them. You wouldn't even know what style they look best in. That's how little y'all know y'all significant others. So don't do not too much on bro. Not too much. He's already said he was on that oh we. He told us that. He told us he was suited and booted. And it was probably some of that white girl, allegedly. But I can't be mad at the officer because he got to do his due diligence. You know, what did we say? We got to remember. If y'all don't learn anything else, when a crime is committed, you got to have 2 things. You got to have the act that is criminal, and you got to have the intent or the motive that is also criminal. Right? So right now, they already have the act that is criminal because this mama done unalive potentially 8, 9 babies. But now he has to understand whether there was a motive to this act that also involved the baby's death. Y'all get it? All right, let's go.
Me that the only one that you weren't around for is when you went to prison.
Honest to God, I didn't know that there were 7 babies in my garage.
I know.
I never knew there was 1 in there. Do you think I would have go out and clean the garage and then, you know what I mean?
I understand where you're coming from. I'm not saying you knew they were in the garage, but I'm saying you had to know that they were brought into the world.
Even though Darren claimed he had no idea about the pregnancies, the detective wasn't ready to accept it at face value.
Your wife has admitted to some crimes, to some horrible things. She admits that she killed someone after they were born. Like I said, she's being completely honest. And I really wish you were too.
What do you want me to say? I didn't know she was killing kids, and I didn't know she was put in boxes. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how she could give birth and then... I don't know.
Were you there when any of these were born?
No, sir. No, sir. I swear.
What we want to do is we want to do what's right. We want to have closure for these children. We want to have closure for your kids that are alive. For these babies' grandparents. I mean, these babies were in a garage for years.
I never knew that, though. I never knew that. I don't want to say nothing else. This is looking bad. I had no idea that she was killing kids and putting them in boxes. I swear to God.
Okay.
But I want an attorney, though. Wouldn't you?
I can't give you that advice. I'm not in your situation, and I don't think I ever will be.
No, you won't.
So. Okay. All right, hold on just a second. We'll get you upstairs in just a minute.
Although Darren seemed like a potential suspect in the case, there was no evidence to link him to the murders. Eventually, Darren requested an attorney, bringing the interrogation to an abrupt end. What worked in his favor was a simple but strong point. If he had known about the bodies in the garage, it was unlikely he would have started cleaning it so soon after his release from prison. Darren was released from custody, and the investigation moved forward with Megan still behind bars. All the evidence collected from the garage, including the boxes, plastic bags, and layers of duct tape, was sent to the lab for analysis, and the results were conclusive. Every single fingerprint belonged.
Look at this heifer. I just wanted to get to the end so that y'all can see. She don't look like she been tampering with Ouija boards as a child. I don't know, playing the game boards. She don't look like she potentially tampered with something she had no business messing around with. She look off. That's the issue with a lot of y'all. You want to know why our world's so screwed up and why a lot of people doing some of the dumb stuff they doing? Because they messing around and tampering around in portals they know nothing about. Y'all know a few months ago we did them stories on these young people playing around with these love spells, call themselves putting spells on each other to make each other stay with each other forever. Y'all playing with stuff you ain't got no business. It's taking a hold of you and now you can't shake it off. Got you out here doing just whatever. You can't even explain it. Look at her. She look crazy. Yes, Niecy, serial killer. Because that's what she is. Unfortunately, they was all her own.
To Megan. Not a trace of Darren's prints was found on any of the items. With this, the focus shifted to the medical examiner, where DNA testing was conducted to confirm the father of the babies. The results were as expected. Darren was the biological father of all 7 children. However, one heartbreaking fact remained clear. During their entire 10 years of living together, and even after he went to prison in 2006, Darren had no idea he had fathered 7 children. Megan had hidden everything from him and everyone else. It was now time for the final decision.
Justice for 6 babies killed right after birth by their own mother as she pleads guilty to 6 counts of murder.
And the judge gave her the maximum sentence that could keep her locked up for the rest of her life.
On February 12, 2015, Megan was formally charged with 6 counts of first-degree murder. Having admitted to killing 6 of her children while claiming one was stillborn, she was sentenced to 6.
No, she admitted to 8 or 9. Make her guilty of all 8 or 9 she admitted to. But, you got to have a body, generally. Yeah, I don't know. There ought to been some clause. There ought to be, y'all find a loophole with everything else. There ought to be a loophole, a clause or something that you can add on to make her guilty of the 8 or 9 that she admitted to. Now, hurt all them poor little babies. Trifling ass. Let's finish this out.
Terms of 5 years to life to be served consecutively, which meant she would spend the rest of her life in prison. The case left everyone involved deeply shaken. It was incomprehensible how a mother could commit such horrific acts. It also highlighted the devastating impact of drugs, which had completely destroyed Megan's mental health and led her down this dark and tragic path.
Megan had a family that she was raising. But on the flip side of that coin, she also had 7 dead children in her garage that she had murdered. I don't know what her motive was. I don't care what her motive was. But the fact of the matter is she did it, and that was unfathomable to me.
Well, y'all, drop in the comments and let me know what y'all think about Psycho Megan. What was the dance the little girl did in the movie? What y'all think about Meg? Because, honey, listen, we our babies are in trouble. Yeah, y'all wonder why these kids are growing up to be borderline serial killers themselves. You wonder why these kids are growing up and or barely getting into their teenage years and trying to unalive their parents. You wonder why, because these are the parents that they left dealing with. Yeah, these are the parents. This woman gave birth to. I'm still gonna say 8 or 9 because that's what she admitted to. And she said, I don't know, maybe. So there's maybe more that they just ain't found. Didn't put the manpower in. They probably got to the ones they got to and said, you know what, we done. We can't find no more. Because can you imagine coming up on the scene? I don't care how bad you are as a forensic specialist. There's got to be some scenes that you come upon and you like, yeah, bro, it's too much, too far, too far, too far. 7 babies in boxes that you just popped them out, plopped them in a box. We don't even know if they was put in the box. Well, no, she said she unalived them and strangled them and drowned them and all of that. Who knows? Who knows? She could have put them in the box and they were still breathing and they suffocated in the box. We just don't know. And she didn't have nobody that cared enough to know. And that's the sad part about the society that we live in this day and age. That's crazy that nobody cares enough to make sure everybody is okay. Do you not know if I don't come on here for about 4 or 5 days, I got confidants who gonna reach out and be like, "What's up? What's good? We just making sure you okay. You can't disappear and not let us know something." Because they care. That's what Karen says. Care says, "No, I'm not used to not hearing from you in 5 days. Let us know something. Let us know you all right." And I do the same with my confidants. Let one of them miss alive and them mods not in here. Baby, listen, I'm reaching out. I ain't seen you in 2 days. Everything good? We need to pray. What's going on? We got to get back to a place where we care and we concerned. We ask questions. We see something, we say something. Your stomach looked a little, big about a month ago. What's going on? Did you have a baby? Did you have babies? Did you go get it checked out? Was you sick? Tell me something. Every time you turn around, she going from big to small to big to small again. And ain't nobody asking questions. Just that ain't got nothing to do with me. This story is crazy, y'all. But drop in the comments and let me know what you think. And yeah. To Mr. Nunn. Uh-huh. I meant what I said in the beginning. And to the rest of you, MAGA with attitude. They're like running from panel to panel, spewing hate and all of that. You have the audacity, the unmitigated gall, and the nerve to want to jump on somebody's panel and call them an atheist. Please talk to me about being an atheist when you know the individual that you call yourself trying to defend. Because y'all don't know God. Y'all don't know nothing about him. Y'all just know his name. Y'all just know it sound good. Y'all just know how to move the crowd. All you got to do is say God and it's going to move the crowd. The crowd ain't going to do no research. The crowd ain't going to use no discernment to see if you really know the God that you call yourself professing. The crowd ain't going to do that. Oh, but there's some of us with something called discernment. There's some of us with something called a relationship that you really can't play with. Because our God is a God of love. So how are you constantly talking about you after God and you follow God, but everything that you do is hate? Your very existence is hate and hateful. But you for God. Come on now. Try it again. Find out about the God that you claim you profess. And that goes for Agent Orange, y'all fearless leader as well. Because that's why y'all feel so emboldened. That's why. That's why. The same Agent Orange that's running around talking about putting martial law into the black neighborhoods. Yeah, the same Agent Orange. You think he doing that because he care about y'all? No, because the minute that he institutes martial law, you forget this idiot has immunity. He can do anything that he want to in the name of martial law. You can walk down the street and he think that you have a terrorist act against him. Do you not realize he can't be punished by nothing he do? Y'all don't get that though. Because y'all eyes not open. Because y'all think everybody that says Lord, Lord really runs after and follows after God? How when you not showing love? How? God don't play about you, but you okay with running up to the next female and hitting her in the head and pulling out her tracks and destroying her property, all in the name of the almighty dollar. But you know God. Come on, if we gonna talk, let's talk. How can you say you a man for the people, but you snatching people out their homes without due process? But you know God. The same God that says, the same God that the Bible says God is patient. God is kind. God is love. Love is patient. Love is kind. It doesn't envy. Do you not know what love is? But you claim to know God. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Mm, mm. Let me know what you guys think about today's show, about this mama. Lord have mercy. I don't know what it's gonna take for us to get together. I don't know if somebody gonna have to take one of them planes and go around the world with some kind of pixie dust. I don't know. The Lord needs to open a window of heaven and sprinkle out another dose of the Holy Ghost or something, because I don't know. But drop in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about the story and these babies. And confidants, please always remember, if it doesn't cause you to elevate, baby, it's causing you to depreciate. Now raise those glasses, clink, and let's drink till we meet again. Y'all know I really love y'all, right? Thank you for joining me. See you soon.